Welcome to Forward Ever, Leading in Challenging Times, presented by Worth Wealth Management, a weekly conversation with area leaders about how to persevere during uncertain times. Now here's your host, Gary Shorman.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Forward Ever, Leading in Challenging Times. And our guest today, I love talking to Coach Brown. First off, so I have to say that, have interviewed him a number of times over the years. And not only is he a terrific football coach, he's here at Fort Hays State University, but he does such a good job of working with players to help grow them as people as well as football players. So we can talk about some of the stats and the years and what's gone on, but Fort Hays State has continued to do well in the last 9 years. 7 of those years have been 7 wins in the conference and a couple conference championships. All of that goes into what makes a good football team, comes from the leader, and that's what this program's about. Coach, welcome to our show.
No, thank you, Gary, for those kind words. And I really couldn't do it without the players and my coaches. I mean, they're the ones that, yeah, I put in some work, but our kids really put in a lot of work through the summers and the spring. And, my coaches do the same thing. But without them, there's no way this could be possible at all. All the praise goes to them and everything that they do every single day.
Well, there's a theory out there that great leaders turn great players into greater players, or so to speak. But you get the more you ask, the higher you get in response, and I see that happening out on the field. Tell me about your team this year overall, because I think you have 20 of 22 starters coming back this year. But what's your overall picture of the Fort Hays State Tigers this year?
Just a great group of great character kids. And when we talk about characters, I mean, you do everything right. You're very respectful. You play the game the right way. You treat people in your community the right way. And, you're just grown men, and you're a role model for all these young men and women that are out there in this world today. And you got to represent well and do the right things. But our kids are just awesome. They're amazing. They really work hard every single day. They do the things we ask them to do. They do the extra things that we ask them to do, and camp's not easy. I mean, it's a grind. It is a true grind, but our kids are just hardworking. They're committed. They've taken ownership of this football program, and they don't let guys get away with little things. I mean, that's the part of the ownership part. If a guy's not going hard in practice, they hold that kid accountable, and they hold themselves accountable as well. So, just a great group of young men, great character. They're accountable. They're taking ownership of this team, and these kids really do work hard.
Take me through a day when you talk about the early camp that you have here. What's a typical day look like?
I get up at 5:30 every single morning. Get to the office probably about 6:15, just to make sure everything's organized. They have breakfast at 6:30. We meet as a defensive staff, or as a full staff at 7. About 7:15, we meet offense defensive staff, and then at 7:45, the players come over for position meetings or for special teams meetings until 8:05, and then 8:05 we have position meetings. I'm on the field for practice at 9 o'clock, 9:05, right in that range. Then we get off the field about 11:45 to 12:30, just depending how long the practice is going to be. Then they go to lunch. As coaches have a quick lunch, and then we're back to meetings as coaches at 1:30 until 3:45, just watching the film and going through it, making sure our practice schedules are matched up for the next day. 3:45, the players come over for meetings, and that lasts till about 5 o'clock for position meetings, or 5:30 for position meetings. And then at 5:30, we have special teams meetings, and then after that, we go to dinner. And at 7:15, we have like a team building session. 7:45, we have position meetings and walk through again. And the players probably get out of here about 8:30, 8:45, and coaches probably 9:30, just kind of depending on the day. And then we start back over the next day.
Wow. Well, that takes not only coordination, but it just takes a focus of everyone to work together. But it sort of sets the bar for what you're going to do for the season, isn't that right?
It does. I mean, camp is not easy. To me, it's probably more of a mental grind than it is truly a physical grind, because we only practice once a day. And we have some lifting in there as well. That kind of happens on those days as well. Some days the veterans lift, and some days it's the red shirts that lift. So we kind of alternate days with that. But it's more of a mental grind. And we talk about mental toughness and things like that. And because you got to be mentally tough to play this game. And this grind of going to meetings and trying to stay awake and not getting not getting to take naps and things like that, it's hard. And then going to practice, some days it's cooler, some days it's hotter. I mean, you mentally got to fight through it. So, and all the stuff we're trying to install offensively and defensively, the number of plays that we're putting in, I mean, these kids really got to study when they leave here. So, really, to me, it's probably more of a mental grind than the physical grind, but there is still a physical grind to it.
So school hasn't started yet. This will kind of transition a little bit once school starts. But you talk about the players and learning the plays, what they have to do. You have a new offensive coordinator. What's the background there?
He's at Moorhead State University as kind of an assistant coordinator, quarterback coach there. The head coach was actually the coordinator, so he didn't get to really call a lot of plays. We hired him this spring, and he's just a great guy. He's a smart guy. He knows a lot about the offense, and so this is really going to be actually his first time getting to call plays on his own. And he's excited about it, and I'm excited about him too. He's got a great scheme. He's got a great relationship with the players. He's just got married here recently, about 2 or 3 months ago, and I'm glad we brought him on because he's done a heck of a job, and he's just a good person that really gets along well with the kids and interacts well with the kids as well, and has built a great relationship, with those young men on that side of the ball. So I've seen nothing but great things this spring or this fall camp from him and his staff, and he's done a great job of building those relationships with those kids.
So we have a good offense coming forward. Talk about the defense because they were number 2 in the MAIA last season. Is it shaping up to be that same kind of rock solid defense?
It is. I mean, our ones are really, really good. I mean, we talk about Miles Mingus and Hazel Horse and Paris Terry and, a number of guys, John Johnson, McHale Williams. You got Mason Perez, Sam Brandt, and all those guys, Travion Mitchell. I mean, we have a ton of guys back. Kobe Rome, all there in those positions and returners that actually know what we're doing, defensively. It makes my job pretty easy, because they know exactly what we're installing because they've done it for 4 or 5 years already. And the cool thing is they're teaching these young kids, what they're thinking on the field and how they're thinking about plays and helping them out. Because as coaches, we just install things and go, go, go. And they do a better job of probably explaining how it's supposed to actually work sometimes. But these old kids have really done a good job of stepping up and teaching the young guys. And now we're getting some depth, because they are, taking the time to teach these young men, below them, what the plays are and how this game's played and how we run things here at Fort Hays State University. So, I'm very proud of that group. They're stepping up, but I think our offense is going to be pretty solid as well.
When you look at what Fort Hays has done, the growth over the last few years, just looking in the parking lot, the popularity, the fun. We were with some friends in Great Bend the other day who said, "Boy, we've got to get up to one of the Fort Hays State games." There's that growth of things, and then there's those that have been in the stands every year watching the Tigers. What will those fans see this year that may be an improvement or something exciting to watch for in the 2024 Tigers?
Number one thing is I got to thank our fans, right? Because they are tremendous and they are the best in the MIAA conference for sure, and in the country. I mean, they bring energy, they bring excitement, and our players feed off of that excitement, that energy, and I think in what they're going to see is a group of guys that really play as a family. It's not about offense, it's not about defense, it's not about special teams. It's about what they can do for each other to help each other out and what they can do to make this team better. And you're going to find a group of guys that I think play the game very physically, that play the game the right way, that they're going to play hard and give great effort every single play. And hopefully it's a very explosive offense that has some big plays to it as well. And, defense that hopefully can pitch some shutouts here and there. But that's hard to do this day and age with the spread offenses. But I think you're just going to see a group of guys that you can tell play for each other, that's truly a family and, that love one another and going to do everything they can to possibly win a football game.
Well, Coach, I'm going to take a break here, come back, want to talk. This is is it right, your 13th year?
13th year, 13th season, 14th year because of COVID. Yeah.
How cool is that? And who knew it would be a 13, 14 year type of commitment when you signed up? Want to talk about that just a little bit and then talk about your season and the different teams that are coming in that we'll get a chance to see over here at the stadium at Fort Hays State and round out our talk at that point. But let's take a break. All right, we're visiting with Coach Chris Brown, Fort Hays State University Tigers football coach. Big things coming up. Back after this.
Since 1776, the United States of America continues to stand tall. It's been tested before, many times. Through grit and the ability to move forward, we create better tomorrows. We help our clients live their best lives to and through retirement. We make it easier. Thank you, Kansas. Worth Wealth Management, enhancing lives and strengthening families.
Welcome back to Forward Ever, leading in challenging times. It's brought to you by Worth Wealth Management. And you can talk about all the things that we do every day, but when you talk about getting kids out on the field to practice in really hot weather, recently it's been better, but it's a tough process. It's a grind getting through the process of a football season. But it starts out this way, but it also starts with some games. The first one's coming up. It's going to be on August 29th against Missouri Western. And Coach, talk about the season. We have actually it's Angelo State on Thursday, August 29th, and then Missouri Western on September 7th. Talk about your season. How's the season lining up for games?
We have no easy ones, and that's the thing. About this conference is week in and week out. It's going to be tough. The coolest thing is now we have a 0 week, which kind of still messes with me because I want to call it week 1, but it's really 0 week, which we actually get to play somebody out of conference, and that's where the Angelo State game came in. I want to play a team that was a good football team to test us early to kind of see where we were at. A lot of teams kind of go choose teams that are a little bit weaker on the schedule that know it's going to be a definite win for them. But I wanted to compete right away just because I know how competitive our conference is. I just want to kind of see where our kids were at as well. So that's why we picked Angelo. And then all of a sudden we got Mo West here as well the next week. And then we go to Northwest. So you're looking at 3 very tough games, back to back to back. And we're going to see how good our kids are and how they respond to different things as well. So I'm excited for the challenge. I think our kids are excited about the challenge as well. But we got to look at 1 week at a time, and that's with Angelo State week 0.
Well, the first 2 weeks are at home, and I think fans are going to notice some construction going on the south end of the stadium. Talk a little bit about that.
We're so excited to have this new facility going in. Big thanks to you as well for kind of helping with this project as well, and what you've done to help get this project moving in the right way. But it's going to be tremendous. We just kind of outgrown where we are right now. When I first got here, we had around 85 to 95 kids, and our locker room would fit those kids. And now we've grown to 135 kids right now on our football team. Last year we had 160, so we couldn't fit them all in one locker room, so we always had to send all the freshmen to the other side. So in the meeting room, the space just wasn't big enough. The position meeting room weren't big enough for our players as well. So logistically, we really couldn't do the things that we needed to. With this new facility, we're going to have 130 lockers, so we can actually get all these young men together in one room. We're going to have a big team meeting room that will fit all 130, 135 of our players as well. A brand new state-of-the-art training room, which is very much needed for Nate Hepner, our head trainer, to do the things that he needs to do to keep our kids healthy and on the football field. I mean, it's just going to be tremendous. And upstairs, we're going to have enough meeting rooms to actually fit our kids in those rooms comfortably and not sitting on top of one another. Because when you come up to these rooms right now, you got to talk about 20 offensive linemen who are big, huge men, 6'3", 6'4", 300-some pounds, squeezed like sardines into a little room. It's hard to stay awake and stay through meetings, but our kids do it. They've kind of done for the last 3 or 4 years with the number of kids that we have, but this building is going to really help us, to improve, our kids on a daily basis and just more functional for the things that we're trying to get done to really make this a championship season. And it is an arm race, right, in this conference as well. And that's going to help us keep up in the armed race as well. But it's going to be awesome. I can't wait till it's done. I wish it was done right now. I want to go over there and get in some of those machines and start building it. But, it's a process that takes, so hopefully we're in it soon.
Well, you can see the dirt is moving, which is a good start, and didn't know quite for sure how that was going to happen, but it's great to see that progress. Everything as a football team, as a school, as a business, it takes that teamwork to make it happen. And you have a great team at Fort Hays State overall, both up and down.
Yeah, we do, from the president to the athletic director and his staff, and to our football coaches, to the foundation as well. I mean, all that go into this, and our donors. I mean, without them, there's no way this thing would have been possible at all. And we have to thank them more than anything, because without them, this wouldn't happen. Big hats off to Curtis, Hammocky, for really getting out there and getting this project done. Our athletic director, I mean, this is something that he really wanted to get done, and he was really pushing forward. And it came to life. And we didn't know for a while there because with COVID and all those things, numbers changed a little bit on the cost, but he kept going out there grinding and getting things done and meeting with people. And but our donors are the ones that really make this thing happen, and I can't thank them enough for all that they do for us here at Fort Hays State University.
Coach, this last question may be the hardest because there's a coach answer for this, and then there's the Chris Brown answer. When you look at this team this year, what are your goals for the team? And I'd like the Chris Brown answer, not the coach answer.
It's to improve every single day, right? It is really it to get better each day when they step on the practice field, to get better each week, every single game. Not to only improve themselves as a player, but by improve themselves as a player, and they improve this team, every single day. So it's just, giving great effort, being committed to this program, loving your teammates, more and more every single day, and giving your all and giving your best, to your teammates. And yes, I want to win a conference championship. I want to get into the playoffs and see if we can make a run. Do I think these guys have the ability to do this? Absolutely. Because we have a bunch of guys returning that I feel should be able to do it. So hopefully that happens for us. Hopefully the ball rolls away a few times. Hopefully we can stay healthy. But I think these guys have the potential to really do some great things in this conference and have a chance to hopefully get in the playoffs and make a run in the playoffs.
You mentioned fans, ticket sales. If they want ticket sales, what's the best way to get a couple of tickets to be there? If they can't be there, give it to a friend, give it to a neighbor, whatever. But, get your tickets. Where do they go to do that? How do they get involved? Because fans, and you see that happen, some of the biggest games down at Fort Hays State, and you see that as, a couple of years ago especially, you couldn't hardly get into the stadium. You couldn't hardly get in at all to that part. That just creates a whole new level of enthusiasm for the team.
Yeah, you just call our athletic office, 785-628-4050, and they'll get you lined out with the right person, or you can even walk up on game day and buy your tickets as well. But the more people we can get there, the better, because we love the energy, we love the excitement, and hopefully we can put on a great show for them.
First game's coming up, Angelo State, Thursday, August 29th. You can get your tickets in advance, or like Coach said, get them at the door. And then next week, also at home, Missouri Western, and that's Saturday, September 7th. So out there, if you're listening, plan to attend, plan to be a part of one of those first home games. And Coach, do what you do out there, and let's have another great season.
Yes, sir. I'm ready. I'm excited about this group of young men, and thank you for all you do for us, Kerry. Really, truly appreciate you.
Hey, thanks, Chris. Chris Brown, head football coach, Fort Hays State University, has been our guest today on Forward Ever. Thanks for listening. Our program is brought to you by Worth Wealth Management, where you can live with confidence. I'm Gary Shorman.
Thanks for joining us for Forward Ever, Leading in Challenging Times, presented by Worth Wealth Management. Join us right here next week for another episode with host Gary Shorman. Until then, remember to move forward ever, backward never.